You guys like comedy? Yeah. We've got a comedian all the way from Boston. He's going to do a little set for us, if you guys don't mind. Even if you do mind, we'll do it anyway. Thanks for hanging around, guys. We're going to have Kevin Quigley come up and listen.
Connor, let's hear it for this guy. Let's hear it for this guy. It's awesome. Nice. All right, so Deb asked me to say a couple of words tonight about the Grassroots Cultural and Performing Arts Center here and what we're all about. And my name is Bill Hurley. I'm the executive director of this place. We have a lot of our board members here tonight. Mary Beth, our president, Eric, Rick, and a couple of other people. So, the Grassroots Cultural and Performing Arts Center was a vision that we had a long time ago. It started with just trying to preserve traditional American music, and it turned into this thing that sort of just grew out of nowhere. And we're trying to kind of level the playing field for independent music. We bring in bands here. They get an opportunity to play in front of an audience. They get filmed and they get recorded, and it's a very expensive process, but we don't charge any of these people for doing this. It's kind of something that we do to give back to the community, and we're bringing in the Norwood High School senior class recitals here in a couple of weeks. Also talking to Waltham High School and a couple of other schools around the area, and that's kind of the mission here, is to just preserve music and give it a place to grow and give it a place to kind of be. And so if you feel like contributing, you know, there's a contribution bag over there on the merch table. And if you feel like doing that, it's great. If you don't, it's great too. We're all here tonight just to kind of have a good time and listen to Connor and his buds, and we got this kind of cool comedian guy tonight. It's going to shock everybody. So anyway, we're going to turn this over to them, but thanks for coming out, and Deb, thanks for doing this. Deb's been such a great supporter. She's been such a great supporter of our cause. Not only that, she gave birth to the guy that really makes a lot of things happen here, Connor Quigley. We couldn't do this without him. We really couldn't do this without him. I love him to death. I love him like he was my own kid, and he's just a great guy. So anyway, thanks for coming out tonight. Have a good time, and let's hear some comedy. It's the first time a comedian has ever been on this stage.
They have a cup holder on the microphone. They know the trick perform as well. Okay. True, you know, that's very... All right, how's everyone doing tonight? More work than I expected. Let's give another round of applause for Bill. Applause for my cousin Connor. Let's hear it for his girlfriend Sasha. Alright, enough masturbatory remarks. Time to do my job. Tell some jokes. Guys, why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 2 pretzels were walking down the street and 7 assaulted one of them. Thank you. That's why they brought me in. My Aunt Debbie actually asked me if I wanted to do this, and we hear that the person booking these events is Debbie Quigley, and I am Kevin Quigley. People assume nepotism. Correct in this case, although it is a pretty common last name. There's more of us out there than you think. We're like people who have heard the president say the N-word. Controversial. To make sure I stand over on the cool side. Okay. Oh. Not gonna work. Okay, so I'm not a musician by trade, although I am working on a character, a bit of a rapper character. Do you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
All right, ready? When I say ho, you say ha. Ho? Ha. Ho? Ha. When I say pump it, you say louder. Pump it. Pump it. When I say the word of the Lord, you say thanks be to God. The word of the Lord. The word of the Lord. Thank you guys. It's my priest rapper. His name is DJ Hush Money. Cut him some slack, guys. He's just trying to appeal to America's youth. Some of you might not have gotten that, I'm guessing, so I guess I'll just have to walk you through our charming local history. Back in the day, the little kiddies would be making their first reconciliation. Every now and then, that confession booth would become more of a sexual transgression booth. I'm joking, guys. It was a lot more often than every now and then. So they'd have to clean this up. They brought in a professional. We call him the diddler shuffler. Send the priest to a different parish, only this time he would learn his lesson. You can molest as many kids as you want, no consequences. Then they'd have to keep the parents quiet. So as previously mentioned, they'd bring in a lawyer. He'd write them a big fat check, and the memo would say, "Sorry about your kids. See you on Sunday?" Okay. I know it's a little controversial, sorry. It's a very salty subject for me. Yeah, forgive me. You know, you're actually my first ever heckler. Yeah, that's a monumental moment for me, I'm not joking. Nice. All right, now be quiet for the rest of the set. When I was young, my mom made religion very boring for me. Like all the other kids would have those advent calendars with little pieces of chocolate in it. Mine would just have pieces of scripture. Someone would be like, "I got a chocolate with almonds today, what'd you get?" I'd be like, "I got John 3:16, Lord sent his only son not to condemn the earth, but to save it." Again, god damn it! Hey, you can't have an allergic reaction to prayer. And if you combine it with thinking, you can stop school shootings. I'm just holding up a mirror, okay. A coworker came out to me recently, and he said, "I know why you do comedy. To get girls." So I could have told him he was wrong, but I thought it would be better to show him he was wrong. By doing all of my best, I might be a sex offender jokes. So I got mono recently, and it really sucked. And I was stuck in bed for several weeks, and people would make these asinine comments to me like, "Oh, you got mono? Well, you're making out with high school girls, huh?" And I'd be like, "Grow up. This is Massachusetts. We're civilized here, and the age of consent is 16, so I am fine." Yes, it's very germy, yes. One of the things about it is I was stuck in bed for so long that I regrettably went very, very deep down the pornographic rabbit hole. It was bad. I think the only thing worse would have been watching actual porn of a man going deep into an actual rabbit's hole. So I was watching this Japanese porn, and I gotta say, honestly, they're blowing us out of the water. But America is no longer the smut capital of the world. I don't recognize this country anymore. So what happened was these two girls were having sex. But then as it finished, a bunch of ninjas dropped in with these katanas. They started having this epic sword fight. It was high budget, it was gory, it was awesome. The only thing is, started jacking off to the sex, finished to the sight of a man getting his head cut off. Which is interesting, because normally, I don't have an excuse. Left side of the room, how you doing?
How you doing?
Woo! I met a girl recently who told me that she was sex positive. I had asked her what that meant, and she said it really just means that she was open and unashamed of all new sexual experiences. And I think that's a very important movement. However, I think they should rebrand, because sex positive sounds like a fake STD that little kids believe in. Doctor! Doctor! Do I have cooties? No, Billy, you don't have cooties, but you are sex positive. we can take the necessary steps to prevent this from becoming full-blown cooties. I told her I'd never be able to have that kind of philosophy. I'm very awkward and fairly ashamed around sexual history. Probably my wonderful Catholic upbringing that did that to me. She said I should never be so certain, and I said, "You're welcome to have sex with me right now and prove me wrong." So we had sex, and I think I'm starting to warm up to this movement, guys. She's not, though. Complete 180. She learned a little bit of shame goes a long way, which was very empowering for me. I didn't think my dick could change someone's personal philosophies. Really. You ever, well, it's really smoky up here. What, did we just pass question 4 and then everything went to shit? It's the devil's lettuce, you guys. It leads to gay babies. I don't know what they're saying. It's probably something they said at some point. So I actually ran into someone I hooked up with in public the other day. You ever done that? This is pretty terrible. We're both going to the bar. I was locked into this awkward small talk about how her cat died, but it's been a month and she's finally ready to let a new cat into her life. And it's during these terrible conversations where I start to realize, I think I understand why Ted Bundy did the things he did. I'm just saying, we're so obsessed with what drives a serial killer. Maybe it was just one too many conversations at the bar with Ashley, who's taking a year off grad school to just kind of figure things out. Look, I did just sympathize with the most notorious serial killer in American history, so I don't know how to walk back from that. I guess, do you guys want to hear my pickup line? So I go up to the girl at the bar and say, "Hey, I think drunk sex is like bad Wi-Fi, because we're always losing connection. Want to get back on my unsecured network?" All right, guys, give it back to your host. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's my blood.
That just happened.
Oh man, I'm glad you guys got to see that finally. That's my favorite stuff. We're going to be doing we are doing a podcast today, so if you want to hear more of that. Yeah. Oh, good. It's getting edgy. All right, guys, we got some more music and stuff coming for you guys. We will. I've been working recently with a new vocalist who I met at karaoke of all places. I didn't know the night that I met him was karaoke. I was just going to get a drink after work and walked in. I was like, oh fuck, it's karaoke. And but I heard my new friend Mike singing, and I was like, ooh, all right. So we're gonna get prepared a little bit. Can you guys roll a couple tunes while we just get warmed up for a minute? Thanks, guys. And we'll do some tunes for you, right? Drink.
Drink and be merry.
You're on.
Oh, good. I had to show this afternoon. There's a place called the Multiplex in my hometown. And it's a young singer, Haley Williams. So, this is a doubleheader for me. Isn't that good? And nothing is coming. It's about an hour. The night was good, there's no traffic. We came in, an hour and a half. My friends came down and I missed it 2 weeks ago because I was here. The photo board or something they call it. Organized. Yeah. did they have scenes?
No, just like the, just take all your clothes and figure it out.
Right, right.
Everybody will be there. It's like all kind of jazz in it. It's like,
Really? Oh, at the university.
Oh yeah. Hey Nat, you can cut. That was. Nat, you can cut now.
That's a good idea.
There was an entire show where they had to put the cameras
Sorry.
projectors on. Which was
No, I just left my camera running. I thought they were coming right back on. They're taking a break.
Well, it's up there now.
So, did you get out of the room safely or have to talk to them? Yeah, it all depends who you're with in the team. My friend went with the kids, and two of the younger kids were the ones that got me in. They figured out